Hello, everyone. Angel here saying greetings from Costa Rica. I'm super excited. I think everything's starting on time. Go light team. Okay, so today's question and answer topic is about spiritual relationships and what is happening from an empath's view. We want to talk about how things can seem destructive. We are seeing sides of humanity that are a bit confusing. And in particular, we're going to talk about why, about a very scary thing that's emerging, and I'm calling it a projecting spiritual empath. And this particular thing that I've been studying, I have been one, but I'm also going to tell you that this side is emerging in souls, and we're going to explain a little bit about why here right now, and then we'll go deeper into it, and I'll tell you some things that we're planning, fun things for Costa Rica as well too. So okay, why do I keep rambling about being a part of the cleanup crew? I ramble about that to let you know that there was a very chaotic, energetic environment here on planet Earth. Now, what I want to remind you is, let's get back to basics pretty quick about being an empath. And remember, the yin and the yang. Let me see if I can get that to show right there. The yin and the yang, the light and the shadow. And remember way back when we used to talk a lot about our shadow selves. And this concept is coming back into play right now, the shadow parts of humanity. The reason why is because the cleanup crew, the Astral cleanup crew, which was representative of the star system, Sirian, Palladian, Andromedan, you name it, they were involved. And most recently, the elemental crew came into our world here in this dimension where humans exist. And they infused our world with their magic, their energy. And I was communicating with them all along, and what I want to tell you about being an empath is I want to admit to everybody here that up until lightning hit a tree in my yard, the ylang ylang tree, I had a very deep well of doubts. And especially this time last year when I began to embrace empathy, I doubted everything about myself, what I was hearing, whether it was galactic communication, what I was expressing, everything, anything I was doing, my coaching, all different types of things. And basically, when you begin to open up your energetic eyes to your own insecurities, and you're really looking at what your shadow side, the shadow side of you at that point, when you embrace this confusion, and you're beginning to embrace these emotions inside of you. And so the cleanup crew all got together. They would, if archangels existed in every realm, the archangels of every star system and everything got together and said, we're going to assist Gaia with cleaning up her personal energy field so that humans can then embrace through nature empathy. Because nature's natural function is to infuse you, shield you, and buffer you from emotional backlash is what I'll call it. And in particular, we're seeing a rise in the observation of the vibration of anger and the recoiling to the vibration of anger. And the reason why I'm mentioning a projecting spiritual empath is because these shadow sides within ourselves are being encouraged to emerge because those cleanup crews did their job here with Gaia. And now we can begin to release any emotions that we have stored that are more than likely from childhood. That's where the inner light child is going to come out and play again. Great comment, John. But this is where we're going to embrace this empath, this divine empath, this inner light child within us, so that she can or he can express these emotions that, and this can go on to your parents, society, religion, or whatever, but we've never had an energetic environment that's been supportive for us to release these emotions. So you've disconnected from this shadow side of yourself. You've split off from this shadow side of yourself, and the mind is taken over in a way that is not conducive to expansion. We'll say that. And what we're encouraging is the communication to come through the heart and through your gut first, and speak through your heart, and then use the mind as a tool. And we're figuring out right now as empaths that we can safely go into our own wells of these emotions and begin to express them safely and not be receptive to the backlash that was chaotic within Gaia's personal energy field, whether that be entity related, consciousness field related, land related, whatever, human emotion related. If you expressed and released your anger, you were subject to a huge backlash of what was in the personal energy field of this planet, let alone humans. And then when human empaths would get a hold of these types of vibrations, you'd see spiritual all-out energetic wars going on. And what you're seeing at that point is shadow on shadow. Okay, someone else's shadow side attacking your shadow side. And when an empath gets attacked from a shadow side, you feel it like quadruple. You feel yours, theirs, and yours and theirs. So light, light, shadow, shadow. And you're just like, whoa, what is happening right here? You know, and so in particular, empaths have been having this response to anger. And I'm saying, yeah, that's a great response, because when you have a shadow side that is projecting anger, which is the active form of fear, they're convinced that whatever it is that they're projecting at is the reason that it's making them angry, because they've forgotten where the anger is coming from. So what I've noticed is, and I noticed this within myself and my interpersonal relationships, is when anger is activated around an empath, the two empaths they lock onto this vibration, and then what meets in the middle is this perfect storm of anger. All the anger that that person that is projecting has not processed within their human existence, that may have been passed on through lineage and whatever, and then the person who's beginning to receive it, who then begins to react, and then there's this that's going on. And it begins to get into a mind and ego fight where that's not really my fault. This isn't it. And everybody's right, by the way. Everybody's absolutely right from every one of these angles, the light sides of you and the shadow sides of you. But the shadow sides of ourselves as empaths are beginning to make themselves seen so that we can work with the relationship with our shadow side. Our own shadow side. Embrace it. Hug it. I think the shadow's on this side in the picture. Hug this part of you that believes these lies that are inside your head. And I've been working with an individual who I'm going to keep him nameless right now, a couple of individuals actually that are toying with the idea of coming here to Costa Rica. And they are of the native medicine practices and have been teaching me how to stalk these releases within myself, and it's freaking fascinating. So I just wanted to give a little anonymous shout out and let you know that within a week or two we're going to announce some fun things in Costa Rica, where we can identify what is going on, how these things came into play, and then I can fill in a little bit of the why, because an empath has relied on their mind to hide in, and with those types of things, and psychology has tried to pacify our minds, and it's not working. So I like to come in with the whys of why the energetic atmosphere was so chaotic, and why now nature's coming in to say to you, you can release those things. We've got the buffer bubble around you that says you can sustain these releases, and you can stay more into the light side of yourself. The shadow side isn't necessarily dying. We're making friends with ourselves with that. And then we begin to use the mind as a tool, as opposed to people that are using the mind in two different ways, empath-wise. A tool against themselves, most of my client base, or a tool, a projecting empath tool to someone else. Those are the dangerous ones. The reason why you recoil from anger is someone that is in such a heightened stage of, I can't believe you're making me feel this way. And it is pretty optimal to recoil. That's where run comes into the story, because you need to run, hide, duck, and cover. And then when you begin to react, start to see where you're reacting to when you feel this. I mentioned that I had felt a wall of anger last week. And first thing I said when I woke up was, is this anger mine? My guide said, no, but you need to handle your business now. Okay, and what that meant was, as soon as I recognized the anger and it came into my field, it became mine, and it activated mine, and that perfect storm started to meet in the middle with my personal life, my professional life, this other energetic life that is a projecting shadow side of someone else. And bless that shadow side. I mean, that's just awesome. But it's a very volatile environment if that shadow side of someone else is so busy projecting upon you that it's your fault that you can't even breathe or think. That's what you're afraid of. This happened to you more than likely in childhood. Okay. And so it's important to understand that right now, primarily, humanity is only used to relationships that are shadow to shadow. Pain on pain. And we hook up with the people whose pains are similar, blockages are similar, and or the ones that we're most afraid of energetically when we see those shadow sides. Okay. A lot of you as empaths are saying to yourself, hello, Blint. A lot of you as empaths are saying to yourself, I want to have more in my relationships. I don't understand what's happening when I'm trying to connect with people. And what's happening is there's a telepathy channel connection. So it's mind and ego and shadow doing this little dance over here. And the light part of you, your soul, and the observer, the inner light child, the empath in you is over here going, but I just want to feel. I just want to be emotional. I want to be wobbly. I want to be real. I want to open my arms and embrace the world. And what's happening when I do this? And then these empath effects kick in, and you just got to go, whoa, stop, 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 stop. Take a deep breath and get in touch with your true nature, because all of these shadow things, that's not your true nature. What I've been taught by this individual, and so respectively so, is that guilt and shame are learned behaviors. It is mind-modified energy. And what you've got going on with all of these shadow things are guilt and shame, mind-modified energy meeting in the middle and exploding. And we've been tracking this spiritual movement, the shift, the light worker movement, the way shower, whatever you want to know, where we've trained our minds enough to know some spiritual language. And what we're seeing is spiritual language meeting up with mind and ego energy and our shadow sides and full on attacking when we see other empaths that are getting close to their own truth. And the reason why that happens within us is because we're so afraid that our own truth is something to be ashamed or feel guilty of, and it's not. That's not who you are. That's not natural. Nature showed me in many different ways that splitting off from things, growth, the birth and death recycle, that's all just a part of life. We're processing it like it's a great big horror show as humans. Okay, and it can be a comedy, a love story. My love story right now, I'm in a relationship with nature. And nature's doing everything that she can to prove this to me. Follow my blog. Everything fell into place, right down to lightning hitting my yard on the tree that I was talking to. I'm like, I got that gone. Shut up, mind. Let me feel my way through this. And then I begin to use my mind as a tool. Okay, and I see where I use my mind as a tool against others when I get triggered, and vice versa. And as I deal with my particular empathic responses to things, and if I do get hooked when that wall becomes mine, that's when I look within myself and say, okay, where's the well of anger? Where's the well of fear? What am I afraid of? What am I afraid of that whatever this person's projecting on me that's all about them really is about me? Holy mind bender. Because that's what screws with an empath's mind is your instincts are spot on. It's an out of control energetic environment coming at you when you have this in front of you. Okay. And the feelings and the thoughts don't match up. And what you're sensing is that this person's blaming you for everything that's ever been wrong in their life. And they are. But they don't really even know that they are. So you've got fearful actions and then you've got anger actions. And this anger one is what's going to trip you up if you don't start embracing it as it happens and know that nature's got your back and can support you in having this empathic bubble of yours that works, by the way. Your empathic bubble works. It has been working. Because if you're listening to me and going, I don't think I have any anger. I mean, that was me 2 weeks ago. Like, I dealt with my anger. I mean, I actually said this to the guy, and I think I heard his spirit giggle. And, you know, we all have emotional crap. The relationship that's the most important right now is the one with you. And you want to really explore this through the eyes of your inner light child and know that this divine empath in you is not responsible for the state of affairs with humanity, your family, other people, you. Your mind, your ego, and your shadow side have been teamed up. And everybody's been split off. It's time for everybody to get back together. Get back together with your guide groups and guide yourself through these shadow sides of you that are having empathic responses to the world. And I can tell you, anger would have been my greatest fear. And I am enjoying exploring anger. Anger was a huge part of my shadow side. And I can tell you, sometimes I may come off as this little docile, sweet, but a year ago, you would not have wanted to get into a war of words with me or energetic words, because I have one vicious shadow side when she gets scared. But the viciousness isn't my shadow side either. The viciousness is a learned behavior. It's what I've learned from others on how I get people to get away from me when I'm scared and afraid. So my shadow side isn't vicious either. My shadow side's beautiful. My shadow side's hiding and it wants to become whole. Okay. And I've been convinced through my mind that I am the judgment. When I'm totality, I'm whole. That's what nature has shown me is that I'm every part of every emotion. Every fiber of my being can connect to every living thing. And as humanity is learning to re-embrace this with the support of the elements and nature, a little bit of caution, whole lot of compassion, and an open heart, and close off that telepathy channel if you have to. I mean, just force yourself to see where you're hiding in your mind. And when you're feeling yourself defend yourself against others, know that this trick is going on inside of them. We'll hug it out, but not until we start to embrace this within ourselves. Hi, Greta. And the question and answer part is up. I wanted to make sure I covered all of that. that was a nice flow. And wow. So if you have any questions here, let me put my glasses on. I made a protective bubble for myself 2 years ago. So funny that you're talking about it. Yeah. The bubbles are great. But thanks for bringing it back up, Greta. Hi, Norway. I was so excited to have someone on there. So these bubbles are great. So if you're looking at me, thanks, I got a little off track, and you're saying, I don't have anger. Did you see what my mind did there? I don't have anger. And your empathic bubble's working. Okay. It is working, because if you weren't angry or fearful and those types of things, you'd be out there in some sustainable community, growing, living off the land, kumbaya it out. Okay. That's why it would be happening. But all of our shadow sides are going, is it safe to come out and play yet? Or can we express ourselves yet? And the cleanup crew's been saying, no, not yet. No, not yet. I know you're impatient. No, not yet. You're tired. You're very, very tired because you're fighting this shadow side of yourself and other shadow sides. So that bubble, if you can't feel the stirrings of these types of emotions, but you're still afraid to connect with humanity, because I didn't like humanity very much this time last year too. Little confession there. That bubble is on and it's working. So you want to take that bubble and have that dissipate within you and become whole between any lingering emotion that little child in you wants to express, the divine empath in you wants to express. And know that nature's got the other bubble now, okay? We don't have to MacGyver this stuff out like we've done. We've disconnected ourselves from the gut and from our heart, because a lot of the empaths that I talk to on my client calls is, I'm saying, yes, sweetheart, that's really what you saw. Hi, Tamara. Thank you so much. That's really what you saw. Sorry. Humanity's got their astral heads up their human butts, myself included. I mean, I started a company. My tagline was one with nature. Hello, confessions. I didn't really get that until about a week or two ago. I think we're all saying a lot of things that we don't know what the actual energetic application of it is too. So love that bubble. That bubble is, we got apps for that bubble. We want to slowly help you see that this world around you is full of projecting empaths. Okay, they're just lovable, just projecting little balls of fear and anger and all its little friends. But so are you. And that's the you that you're wanting to relate to right now. And it's okay when you're discerning that you don't want to play with some empaths that are coming at you going, this is not my ego, but this is your mind, and this is how you're making me feel. You know, it's like, you know, it's okay to say, I don't want to play in that sandbox right now. I'm going to play in my own little sandbox with my own little shadow self, and I'm going to have nature show me that everything's okay, and I'm going to communicate with my guide team because they're a really cool group. This group all needs to come together. That's the light part of you. And this part of you, the light side, the empath, the divine, all of that will not be sustained if you do not embrace your own shadow side and get in there and hug this crap out. So take a look at that little bubble there and expand it to the parts of you that need a hug. And then go from there. Yeah, your bubble actually sustained by the rainforest, Tamara. Oh, I love you deeply too as well, Greta. So you know, the mind is so creative. I love the mind. I love the ego. I have a portion of narcissism that I will always keep as an alpha human being in my own life. It's a part of my protective bubble. It's the part of me that says, I know me better than you know me. Although you may be seeing what you don't like about yourself within me right now, and that's cool because I'm seeing the same thing in you. Okay. And so that's why we're going to slowly split off from those types of communications with humans where you're just shadow on shadow and connecting through shadow on shadow, and you want to connect more through the lighter sides of you. Yin and yang exists. Masculine, feminine, dark and light, they work in combination with each other. There's this stuff in the middle, in between the mind and the ego, that needs to be flushed out and retrained by you. Normally, humanity would do this by reincarnating, and then you would come back and you would reinterpret it as karma. I'm going to say, maybe for the first time out loud publicly, karma is a crock. Okay. It's the interpretation of the understanding of the soul's wanting to feel deeply and experience deeply. And it gets read as a book of judgment as to why you're experiencing certain emotions. And the Akashic records, which are divine to their core, have been misinterpreted very loosely on judgment. Okay. And I just say very loosely because we'll go into that later. So karma is being abolished through the Akashic records. You know, the right or wrong of whatever something is not you. That's what I mean by karma is a crock. These things aren't you. Your experiences that you're gathering from all the dimensions of your existences, those are energetic trails that even nature will tell you. Nature doesn't care. Okay, that tree, when it sees a predator, you know, something attack my cat, grab a mouse, the tree's not going, that cat did it again. It is so not going to heaven. You know, judgment is a feature of the mind. We've been trained this through religion and through some spiritual understandings of karma, and what our interpretations as human, without the ethereal background and the elements supporting us of what's going on energetically here on this planet. And before we got here and started assisting with the cleanup, a cluster fudge. The MacGyver stuff didn't make it anywhere near possible for you to embrace any ethereal magic at all. Hands down. Come to terms with that. Okay. On Monday, I'm a little confused if it's safe to be with a lot of so-called psychics. What can you say about that? Great question. Okay, so I like the verbiage in that too, so-called psychics and those types of things. A lot of these psychic interpretations are through the mind and the ego, and through fears and those types of things. And so it's very, that particular skill of psychicness is expanding through the ethereal field. I say, get out there and start getting into groups of people, okay? But you have to know and understand that this firework effect is going on. And when people see you embracing the light part of yourself, their human reaction is to attack. because they begin to see the shadow part of themselves. That's when it gets confusing. And then when all of these psychics know the language, they can start making you feel like you're an absolute piece of crap in an instant through either a passive aggressive behavior or using the actual language or through their energy. And you as an empath's going, wait, is this me? Is this my fault? So I say get out there and do this and observe this and see where people are projecting and realize that some of these psychics, actually everyone, every freaking spiritual person on the planet, get the frick off your pedestal, okay? Every human on this planet has unresolved anger, fear, and everything, okay? And any spiritual or psychic person that tells you they do not, I'm going to call BS on it. You'd have them call me and we'll meet live here next week. Okay? And I guarantee you I'll be able to poke their anger button. And not because it's mine. I got a little sidetracked. So anyway, the more spiritual a person's been, and if they have more contact with this language and this malfunctioning system and those types of things, they're master manipulators from hiding from their own shadows. So there's the danger there, is if they start throwing the spiritual jargon at you, like, this is not my ego, you're dealing with the darker forces because I can't get into your personal energy field. All things I've heard, okay? From my clients where they're asking, can you help me understand what's happening here with other spiritual teachers that I work with? And I'm just like, yeah, hang on. I'm having my own human reactions as a spiritual teacher myself. Now let me see if I can help you. So you see how this is? Every single, the playing field just leveled. So when you go into these groups, get them off the pedestal right away, no matter who you're talking to. Because my guides told me this when I was really confused as an empath. They told me, because I was just like, what's going on? I can't feel my channel. You know, this is when I was started to embrace empathy alongside Gaia. You know, what is happening and why, how come these people have this channel and they're hearing this and this and that? And it's not that I couldn't hear, but what I could hear was the pain of humanity and those types of things. And my guide said, Angel, if you could spend 24 straight hours with any of those people with large amounts of followers, and again, they're talking to my mind and ego with this or this or this or that, you'll see that they're just as human as everybody else. Some of them know that and keep that to themselves because they won't let other shadow sides attack them, and some of them are completely oblivious. And the ones that are completely oblivious to their own shadow sides are the ones that are going to kick you in the head. So get out there, play, and figure out which ones are kicking you in the head or they're kicking themselves in the head, and then figure out which one you are in that. And then if you get upset or mad or angry, look at it as, whee, this is something for me to take a look at. Long answer, sorry. But I say get out there, do it, figure out what your reactions are, and really observe, especially the highly spiritual people that you have on a pedestal in your life. You know, and if you're putting me on a pedestal, I would like to kick it off and burn that pedestal right now because I got crap. I'm human. Hey, Dale, I see you on here. Blossoming with nature. Yes. Oh, thank you. I have been working with Dale out of the UK. I love the UK. And Rita is out of Sweden. Hope I covered that, Rita, by the way. And hi, Trish in Virginia. I love this. I love this. I love this. So yeah, karma is a crock. You got it, Dale. I want to just open the debate on this right away, guys. Okay. Karma is an interpretation of a malfunctioning energetic system that we kept trying to reincarnate into to make things right. And that right there, right or wrong, cut it off. Cut it off at right or wrong. That's why I'm embracing my anger. You know, my poor roommate's like, you're like an emotional tornado this week. It's so hard to be around you. And at the end of the day, I finally just screamed and said, I'm working with someone on my anger and I was told not to go into my mind about it. So I'm expressing my anger. And he looks at me and he says, well, if you'd have just told me that. And I said, I think I just figured that out right now. Okay. Do you hear what I just said? I think I just figured that out right now. You're going to be figuring stuff out about yourself right now. And I really want you to stay away from karma, the law of attraction, you know, because when those projecting empath or spiritual people are coming at you, they're going to use the law of attraction against you. You're seeing this or you're experiencing this or whatever. Okay. And if the law of attraction applied in this case, then you would be responsible for 8 different different billion peoples on this planet's upset and dis-ease, and that's a freaking crock right there. Handle your own business. Okay. So as an empath, if you buy into the law of attraction, you're going to end up really cutting yourself off at the knees for what's out here. We'll be able to deploy the law of attraction when we embrace the shadow within us and begin to use the mind as a tool. But other than that, shadow on shadow, I'm going to call BS on the law of attraction as well, too. So. Okay, it looks like we had so many wonderful people popping in. Let me see where we're at for time. 30 minutes. I have to put my glasses on. My eyes get very fuzzy. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. My eyes get very fuzzy the more the ethereal flow is around. So just a little note. So I'm hoping that everybody's hearing what the fundamental message here. I'm gonna say this, and that is, nature's got your back. The bubble exists within nature to protect you from the backlash of unnatural emotions. Guilt and shame are learned. You are not born guilty or ashamed. You pick that stuff up from your family, society, the energetic state of affairs when you got here. So right now what you're looking at is the turmoil within your fellow humans' energy fields. And those of you that are very much into the spiritual rainbow warrior type stuff, you're saying to yourself, I don't get this. And you know what? You were never meant to get it up until the point that you could really get it and really express your energy and really sustain these releases. And where nature's saying, if I gotta show you through lightning bolts on a tree, I'll do it, angel. I've never felt more secure to just express emotions than I have right now. And it looks a little weird, it looks a little wobbly, but I'm gonna keep doing it. And have some fun with it, because those other emotions that I were afraid of, they're fun. They're part of. That's why actors are actors. They're like, I want to play the bad guy. I want to flail my arms around my roommate and be free and comfortable. Bless you for putting up with me. To do so. And just know that I can control what's happening when those other empathic things happen, where other people react to me and those types of things as well too. So it's just safe to just and and get out and play little by little, okay? And realize that your mind and your ego is judging yourself as much as the people that are judging you. That's all that matters right now. And we take a look at that. And like I said, we'll be doing some announcements on how to do this together here in person and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Bam. Okay, peace and love from Costa Rica. It's springtime here. It is beautiful. Where'd my little ylang ylang go? Hello from the ylang ylang tree. All of these came from the trees in my yard. My whole house is surrounded by trees. They're absolutely wonderful. Remember, you can get in touch with nature just by even looking at these. Or when I wave the little ylang ylang. If it's snowing or raining or winter or whatever, use your imagination to connect with nature. Because your energy body's connecting with other shadow sides and those types of things too. You hear what I just said? That's how you get caught. So if you could do that, then you can also connect with nature. So you want to face your fears about humanity right now, but come together incrementally and know that, like I said, every human's at the same point. This is a clean slate. They all have to deal with their own stuff. We all have to. So when you come together in community-minded things, and especially spiritual community-minded things, that is going to just like, woo! Mind bend you. Keep that in mind. Okay. Peace and love from Costa Rica. We'll do this again same time next week. Thanks for everybody who came in, and lots of love. Bye.